Alright, what? I just finished designing the forest dungeon, or not for forest dungeon, but dungeons with an open air where you have access to the surface. So you have, ignore this, but you basically have your three templates. This is a full one. This is the edge where this space here is like gonna be a ravine or drop down or whatever, and then here this is the corner where this and this space is gonna be what's cut off. So let me just load in here real quick and show what the dungeon looks like. Again, this is like example stuff, how to design a dungeon that isn't a cave or isn't enclosed. This is for the actual modelers and environment designers. This is like a design philosophy, I guess. So we have our spawn point right here. I know it doesn't, placement isn't the best, but just bear with me here. We have, our slopes or flat surfaces. We have our walls, which most importantly have accurate collision. They are like spawned and generated. You can't really get stuck here. Even in corners, you can't like jump out or anything, because that's physics. You can't really look up over them, even on the like highest spot. You don't really see anything above, and the skybox you're seeing here is actually fake. It's not real. Just like any of okay, no, I'm not gonna do that joke. But yeah, that is how designing open air dungeons would work. Of course, we could also be fancy and add underpasses. For example, in this block, if you wanted like to add something below here, like a little cave or small cave or a tree stump that you can walk through, it's all possible. Someone just has to do it. Not gonna be me, because I'm not a 3D modeler. But yeah, this is a best example I could whip up. You have your basic terrain. I'd love to see an actually, somewhat fleshed out version, so I can, so it can be a proof of concept thing, and, just like, give me something to work with, please. Thank you very much. I would greatly appreciate it. The corners are sticking out. You can ignore that. This is template. This is placeholder. Ignore. You can walk on them though. Yeah. Besides that, the biggest worry I have with getting over these things is that if you have like an attack like jump or fly or whatever, that you can like launch yourself up to something like this, and then you could just skim yourself up here slowly somehow. I'm sure somewhere, well, not specifically here, but a place like this. Yeah, you could just jump up and then you'd be up here, and now you're out of map. Yeah, give me assets, please.